So I'm a community builder and consultant. So really pleased to join the community builder program. Uh, I had some really great sessions with Brian, who is on the community builders program as well. So I've really enjoyed. We worked together to Brian Howe. We worked together on a couple of videos and kind of podcasts and things. We just carrying on with that as well. Brian's doing very well with his videos. He's got some excellent work which he's done there, and also working together on the AWS developer exam, because we did the cloud practitioner, which is really good with support from AWS community builders, and that was fantastic to get that qualification. Really helps with confidence. Bit of background about me is I started in coding 2017, so not that long ago, in fact, and started with a boot camp. And I hadn't really done so much in computing before, but in 2017, I decided to take the plunge and get into coding. And as we were discussing, Vikas, we were talking about how the visibility of the industry isn't so obvious, but yeah, I mean, I jumped in with 2 feet, did this boot camp, and then subsequently got into a company in Brighton and started doing coding there for a estate agents company, and then subsequently a few years later started a new company which I'm absolutely loving as a consultant. And one thing I've found definitely is the way in which a maths background can be really useful. So that's been quite a big learning curve for me, definitely. I've been meeting regularly with someone from India to help me with maths, and because my maths is actually kind of 16-year-old level, although I don't look 16. But he's helping me to kind of get some concepts. Certainly been doing discrete maths. We've also been working on algebra, and we're possibly going to do a bit more on trigonometry, although mainly discrete maths. And next book we're looking at is Knuth's Concrete Mathematics. So hopefully that should be a nice thing to get into as well. But yeah, really enjoying it. It's great.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I was looking at your LinkedIn profile.
Mm.
I can see you started as a teacher in ancient Greeks and Latin and French. And then
Yes.
you
Yeah.
switched over to IT. It's a
Yeah.
bold plunge. Like a lot of people are scared of changing their career.
Mm.
Like, how did you gather the courage and how did you make that change?
Yeah, I think slightly naivety, definitely. I enjoyed the teaching, but I did feel that I did have some skills that I could use in other ways as well. The ancient Greek, really loved that, actually. I'm still meeting with someone for regular sessions on ancient Greek.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely it started off with YouTube. I started doing some YouTube videos for students to help them with the learning, and then really got stuck into just thinking about, I think it's 2017, a lot of these boot camps were around, especially in London, and one in particular, Makers Academy, seemed really good. There's some good stories coming out of there, and yeah, I just trusted that would be a good thing to do. I would say that subsequently I have been slightly kind of not punished, but slightly I've realized that there is a lot more to it than just I'm going to do some coding. Problem solving, maths background, all of these things which I hadn't actually really trained on before. I think some of the skills from the teaching have been useful, particularly with the consulting aspect. So I think that's been useful, but Yeah, certainly. That's been the most enjoyable aspect of it. Actually, it's been like an opportunity to learn about such a huge swathe of knowledge, which I'd never really properly kind of learned about. Really, I think that's been fantastic. I know that in India there is uh, quite a focus on STEM subjects, isn't there?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and India is famed for problem solving and maths skills. Really, I'd say. Yeah, is coding a popular school kind of
yeah,
activity?
India, yes, of
Mm,
coding is quite popular. Like IT is the perhaps the largest industry in India.
mm, yeah. So yeah, so I think it's a good I mean, I think India is definitely. I mean, it's 1.6 billion people, isn't it, in
Yeah,
India? So definitely, I think it's going to be on the rise. No question, no question. Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. Yeah.
yeah. So I was looking at your GitHub repository. It says you
Mm,
have almost 635 projects.
mm.
That's huge.
Yeah, I think one thing that might be said, which is my kind of positive and negative, is kind of a little bit. I get interested in a lot of different topics. So there's stuff there in Haskell, Rust Club with a
Yeah.
couple of people from my school, from my work, primarily Java more recently. Um, Quite a lot actually with this site called Catalyst with a K.
Okay.
Catalyst is catalyst.codurance.com,
Okay.
which is the website that my employees have, and there are a few katas that they have there, which I like to just like try and do repeatedly. So that accounts for a few of them, perhaps.
Okay.
Um, so there's a slight repetition. Yeah, like things like the Mars rover kata. There's a bank kata, which is quite good fun as well. Roman numerals, and that's kind of a focus on test-driven development. So yeah, it's primarily kind of getting that kind of habit of testing and building a project from scratch. Yeah, so that's been
Okay.
good.
It's
Mm.
nice. So
Mm.
you said you're into consulting right now. So what kind of consulting do you do?
So I mean, we can have a wide range of things that we would get assigned to. So, for instance, I was working with a theatre kind of company, helping them translate. Um, it's translating contemptful data in a CMS
Okay.
thing called contemptful. And putting it into MARC records for librarians. So that was quite
Oh,
strange. That was kind of a 3 month project, which was enjoyable. That was good fun. And then
okay.
also more recently, it's kind of focus on healthcare, in fact, which is quite interesting actually. Really interesting, eye-opening, really, about the um, healthcare industry. There's a lot of opportunity uh, for technology work there. So that's been quite interesting. So yeah, I think it's if I was to summarize it, it is like it is a coding. So you are kind of considered to be a crafts person and kind of a crafts, actually trying to improve your craft and become good at writing code and following good design principles. But there is a lot of speaking with people as well, which I actually quite enjoy. A lot of people who traditionally in coding find that quite tiresome. So I quite like meeting people and talking with people, as long as we're
Nice.
communicating and kind of coming up with new ideas. But I quite enjoy
Okay.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Great. So it's like, how did you go about getting your first customer? Like, that is always a hurdle for somebody who gets into consulting.
Definitely. So I personally, obviously the work with the company, and that's kind of it was a challenge. The first company that I worked with, uh, really, I think it's just showing that you're wanting to do your best. You're trying to be intelligent. You're trying to remember what people are saying, taking notes, and kind of working well with colleagues. One thing that actually, which I love at our company, is the focus on pair programming. So everything is done in pairs, and this is kind of an extreme programming
Mhm.
idea. And I really like it. I think there are a few companies that follow this process, but you can see it would be good on a number of levels. Firstly, even if you are more experienced, at least you've got that kind of person playing the role of a rubber duck to at least kind of navigate and help you to make sure that you're not making mistakes. And if you're a more junior person, such as myself, who hasn't necessarily got the experience that some of his colleagues might have, it's a fantastic opportunity to learn. So I have really absolutely loved working with people in the pair programming and just learning stuff from them. It's been fantastic.
Okay, can you tell more
Yeah.
about this pair programming? How does it work?
Yeah, so I think Kent Beck is one of the earlier proponents, and it's a focus on XP programming. So as opposed to just agile work, there's a focus on honesty, on openness to improvement. It is usually the process would be in a pair. You'd have a session which would start with Pomodoro. Have you heard of Pomodoros at all?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so pomodoros are these kind of Italian idea. It's quite old now, but it's like 25 minutes on, then 5 minutes off. I think three times in a row, and then for the fourth time, after the fourth time, you then have a 15-minute break. So that's really
Okay.
nice because it gives it a nice rhythm to your coding. There'd be quite a focus on training and improvement as well. So there might be a work on katas in the later period. There's a focus on demonstrations of the work that you've done. So always showing the progress that you've brought to the client. And so, that focus on openness with the client, and really just making sure that feedback loop between what you're doing and any ways you can improve is just really focused on. And people can yeah, much like a classroom, really, having a colleague in the classroom. Often children, when they're working on a maths problem, they might work as a pair to try and ensure that they keep focused. And I think it makes a lot of sense. Definitely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, uh, again, like, does your in previous career, like, you have been working on, you had worked on teaching, and you had also got a PhD on that. So,
Mm.
does that help you in any way in this new career? I'm sure that is.
Yeah, as I say, definitely with the with some awareness of with the teaching, some awareness of kind of the need to always have in mind what your clients and your colleagues,
Okay.
how they're thinking, and how you're bringing value to them and communicating. um, I actually try and listen a lot more uh, than talking. I think that's something I've definitely
Mhm.
tried to learn from the teaching. Being someone who actually listens and tries to respond to what
Mhm.
other people, the thoughts and ideas that other people are having, kind of enabling people to perform and to improve. I really enjoyed also the tutoring aspect. So I did quite a lot of tutoring in my earlier career, and that really did, seeing that kind of impact you can have on a colleague, even if it's just through just speaking and talking with each other and sharing ideas. That is really rewarding, actually, seeing the change in your colleagues and seeing them improve and letting them see how you can improve. So yeah, it's a real focus on progress, improvement, and yeah, and just optimistic approach, really, that I've taken from the teaching and from the academic background that I've had. Definitely.
That's nice.
Yeah, because it is such a huge topic, isn't it? I mean, there's so much to learn. Obviously, with the maths, the lack of the maths, for me has been something that I've been working on to improve. But then also the technology is moving all the time as well. I mean, AWS is is constantly moving forwards, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the possibilities. I was just doing today a poly AWS poly exercise.
Okay.
Kind of little MP3 thing where
Mhm.
you just kind of upload an MP3 recording. So yeah, I mean, there's so much you can do. Recognition, poly. So that's just the DevOps kind of side or the AWS side. Then there's the Java or whatever your chosen backend language is, and then of course the front end. So for me, it's React and TypeScript. So I mean, it's just huge. It's incredible, and in some ways you can get overwhelmed, but also it's very rewarding. I think it's very rewarding to have that opportunity to learn every day and really feel that you're able to improve and contribute to uh, well, an area of work which is just, even now we're in the midst of technological changes which are um, quite striking, really. It's great.
Great.
Yeah, I love it.
So, how would you advise somebody who is just fresh starting his career or contemplating on switching into IT?
Yeah, I think immersion is quite good. So, like boot camp or something similar can be one way. I think it is, as I mentioned, it is helpful to try and ensure that you improve your problem-solving skills, your maths background. It's more important than you think. I think finding a mentor is absolutely essential. I'm definitely keen to give anyone any advice and assistance. In fact, I've got someone in a Colombian guy in Spain
Mhm.
who I've been mentoring, and that I've really enjoyed that. We're doing that 3 times a week, so we're just revising JavaScript, Mongo, SQL, and all of those things. It's helpful for me just to remind myself of everything. And also, I have mentors as well. So I've got a mentor at work, and uh, also some friends outside of work who are kind of helping me with my React skills and test-driven development as well. So I think that's what I love about the community builders. That's that opportunity to meet with other people. You're not in competition. You're working with each other. So it is a very welcoming community. I think definitely there is hard work as a basis because of certainly for me, I've found that you do need to work hard. Um, but I think it is one of those careers that it is open. It is very open to people who want to join it. So yeah, do just get stuck in and reach out to people, start building, and I think uh, it's one of those few professions that anyone can do.
Mhm.
I think anyone can do it, and that's really quite empowering, really. And get
Nice.
stuck in. Yeah, it's wonderful.
I think you've given a good coverage. Like one
Mm,
main point you said that math skills are really important for
mm,
anybody. Math
definitely.
skills and problem
Yeah,
solving. And
yeah.
you also talked about how you learned about how you entered your IT industry. The switch is really bold, and I'm sure many people will be able to take more inspiration out of this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I really
It's
hope
really
so.
inspiring.
Please do. Yeah, I mean, do yeah, send me the recording. I'm keen to continue working together, and hopefully we can help others as well. Definitely, no question. Yeah.
So it was really helpful. I'm sure people will learn from this.
Thank you, Vikas. Fantastic.